This is a Star Wars fan story. This story takes place completely within a world created by George Lucas. The concept of Jedi and Sith, as well as any other trademarks, are exclusive property of Disney and Lucasfilm. Hey guys, welcome to the Continued Republic. This is going to be kind of a long one, so sit comfortable, grab your popcorn, and let's get into it. It's a character breakdown. Depending on how much you need to know, some breakdowns will be longer and shorter. And we're going to start with the Jedi lost on Korriban with the Grand Master at that time, Rey Skywalker. Around the year 40 ABY, Rey began actively searching for recruits for a new Jedi Order. She spent her entire life shaping the Jedi while studying the ancient ways. Next up is Girk, a Gamorrean Jedi Master who met Rey and joined the Order in 58 ABY when he was just a young teenager. Armed with two lightsaber whips, Girk became one of the most well-rounded Jedi in the Order. He became a Master in 74 ABY, 4 years after taking on Padawan Labar Zelb. Labar Zelb was the Padawan of Master Girk. He was a very naturally gifted Force user, and despite being only 17, he was awaiting the trials. Next is Master Jorba Wintices, a Togruta Jedi Master who met Rey and joined the Order in 52 ABY. He became a Master in 70 ABY. Next is Jedi Knight Henoch Eth. Found by the Jedi as a child, a Gungan who became a Jedi youngling in 60 ABY. He was assigned as a Padawan to Jorba Wintices in 64 ABY and had just passed the trials to become a Jedi Knight in 80 ABY. Master Sindek II was one of the first to meet up with Rey to start the Order in 40 ABY. He became a Master in 60 ABY. This Bothan Master was known by all for his incredible wisdom. Jedi Knight Gatone Zim was found by the Jedi as a child and became a youngling in 55 ABY. In 58 ABY, he was assigned as the Padawan of Sindek II. In 74 ABY, he passed the trials and became a Jedi Knight. Next up is Master Dimbak Bar, a human who met Rey when he was only 10 years old in the year 40 ABY. He became her Padawan and inspired the beginning of the New Order. He became a Jedi Knight in 48 ABY and a Master in 64 ABY. Which brings us to maybe a longer one, Padawan Reglo. While Reglo wasn't defeated in the trap on Korriban, he was indeed lost. When Reglo was very young, his parents knew he was extremely gifted. They brought him to the Jedi, where he was instantly accepted as a youngling in 66 ABY. He was assigned as Master Dimbak's Padawan in 70 ABY. During the trap on Korriban, he fell to the darkness and became Darth Luz. Now, I'm not going into any more about him right now, because we'll explain Darth Luz when we get to the Sith later on in this video. So for now, let's continue with those lost on Korriban. Jedi Knight Belvar Hak Tim, another who was found as a child. The young Mon Calamari was a Jedi youngling in 54 ABY. He was the Padawan of Gorwal, who we'll meet later, in 57 ABY. Belvar became a Jedi Knight in 72 ABY. Jedi Knight Viltos Kos. A Jedi youngling in 52 ABY, Viltos was a Duros who was also the Padawan of someone who we'll meet later. He became the Padawan of Yelba Antigo in 54 ABY and became a knight in 68 ABY. Jedi Knight Fenbek Jakor. A Chiss, Fenbek was a Jedi youngling in 56 ABY. In 60 ABY, he was assigned to the Jedi Marvaka Arjo as a Padawan until Marvaka left the Order in 72 ABY, when Fenbek became the Padawan of Dal Vormont before becoming a knight in 74 ABY. This next part may take a little bit longer as we jump into the main story cohort before jumping into the remaining Jedi and then the Sith and then other key characters in the story going forward. Alright guys, here is the main cohort. These are the characters that we're going to be following for the main storyline moving forward. I'm really excited about this group, and we're going to start off with Jedi Knight Dal Vormont. Dal is a Mandalorian who met Master Feldar in 60 ABY and was instantly introduced to the Council and made Feldar's Padawan. Dal became a Jedi Knight in 72 ABY, and later that same year he took over as the Master of Padawan Fenbek Jakor after Master Marvaka Arjo left the Order. In 75 ABY, Dal was on an assignment on Ilum when he found former Jedi Masters Brathsavel Lindar and Marvaka Arjo, who had left the Order in 72 ABY. The two former Masters explained that they had left the Order because they believed the Jedi's leniency towards some of the more dangerous threats in the galaxy would be their downfall. They proceeded to tell a story of a mysterious villain they had been sent to arrest. After putting up a very close duel with the two masters, they decided the mysterious foe was too dangerous to be kept prisoner. They told Dal of how great this being's connection to the Force was, and that they knew no prison that could hold such power. The Council, however, warned them that if such incident were to ever occur again, they were to handle it differently or be exiled. The masters ultimately chose to leave on their own. Dal had heard parts of this story from Fenbeck, but never the true details or the perspective of just how powerful this foe really was. Dal himself was conflicted. Being a child on Mandalore, he perfectly understood this concept. Dal ended up leaving the Jedi himself, studying with Brathsavel and Marvaka for the next 3 years. During this time, Dal crafted a new lightsaber which was unstable and white because of his inner conflict. In 78 ABY, Dal had ultimately decided to go back and ask forgiveness from the Council, deciding he would rather try their peaceful ways as much as possible. In 80 ABY, Dal was assigned Padawan Enoch Kiami. Taken in by the Jedi in 77 ABY as a youngling, Enoch Kiami became the Padawan of Dal Vormont in 80 ABY. Enoch is extremely gifted with the Force and is believed to have the greatest potential of any in the galaxy. Then we have a Mandalorian, Hoyt Vormont, an elite pilot and a mechanic. He's the brother of Dal Vormont. When Dal left with Feldar in 60 ABY, Hoyt began rebuilding a Mandalorian Star Viper. Eventually, it gained the nickname Neck Striker as it became known as the greatest Mandalorian starfighter in history. In 66 ABY, an R2 unit, R2X5 to be exact, began to follow Hoyt around Mandalore. The R2 unit had been stranded on the planet in a crash. Hoyt constantly told the droid to stop following him and completely ignored the astromech. One day, after spending weeks upgrading Neck Striker, Hoyt awoke to find all of his upgrades finished. After realizing the upgrades were completed by R2X5, Hoyt took in the astro droid and fixed him up, capped off with a new paint job. Obviously, R2X5 is part of the main cast. Republic pilot Breen Haltike. Considered to be the best pilot in the New Republic, Breen is one of the most trusted and respected people in the Army of the Republic. Breen also has his own little droid, BB-22T. BB-22T is another given we just talked about. The last member of our main cohort is an advanced communications droid named AC-1383. Nicknamed Cooldown by Dal Vormont, AC-1383 is one of the most sophisticated pieces of technology available. Fluent in over 13,000 languages and equipped with a radar and several defense mechanisms, Cooldown is second to none. Next, we'll meet the remaining Jedi in the Order, starting with the Grand Master, Feldar. We're going to pick up in the year 38 ABY for Feldar. This was just after T-Bot had betrayed him. I went over Feldar's history before that in the prologue video for anyone curious. After defeating his former apprentice, Feldar felt incredible guilt. He wondered if there was more he could do for T-Bod. Feldar continued to train by himself until 40 ABY when he was found by Rey and Dimbek to help start the new Jedi Order. Feldar's first real Padawan was Brathsavel Lindar, a young human with unpredictable temper. Feldar and Brathsavel became incredibly close as they trained and traveled the galaxy together for years. In 51 ABY, Brathsavel became a Jedi Knight and Feldar was appointed as the Jedi representative to the Republic. In 60 ABY, during a Republic mission on Mandalore, Feldar met Dal Vormont. When Dal became Feldar's Padawan, his potential was instantly apparent. Feldar's Force abilities were believed to be greater than any Jedi in history. His lightsaber skills, however, were quite subpar, despite him carrying two with him at all times. This is because Feldar thought of dueling as an absolute last resort. Dal, however, was naturally skilled in combat because of his Mandalorian childhood. Feldar often had Master Gorowell assist with Dal's dueling skills, as Gorowell was an incredible duelist himself. In 72 ABY, after Dal became a Jedi Knight, Feldar put his focus towards the training of younglings. In 80 ABY, after Rey was lost in the trap on Korriban, Feldar became Grand Master of the Jedi Order. Next, we have the Master of the Order, Gorowell. Gorowell was found on Kashyyyk by Ray, Dimbek, Feldar, and Sindek in 40 ABY, just after they started the Order. From the start, he was clearly advanced, and he was already a proficient duelist. In 42 ABY, Gorowell was assigned Clara Pays as his Padawan. Clara became a Jedi Knight in 57 ABY, and Gorowell instantly took on Padawan Belvar Haktim. In 60 ABY, Gorowell became a Jedi Master. Gorowell trained Belvar until 72 ABY, when Belvar became a Jedi Knight. After Rey was lost in the trap on Korriban, Gorowell was voted the Master of the Order. Next to join the Order after Gorowell was Yelba Antigo, a Nautolan who was always trying to learn more. Yelba was assigned Viltos Kos as a Padawan in 54 ABY. Yelba became a Jedi Master in 61 ABY. Then in 68 ABY, Viltos became a Jedi Knight, and Yelba remained without a Padawan until 82 ABY, when he was assigned a young Ewok named Rackham. With an extreme gift in the Force, Rackham became a youngling in 79 ABY before being assigned the Padawan of Yelba in 82 ABY. Jedi Master Imar Nebek joined the Order after Yelba. An Ithorian who already studied the Force for years, Imar was often looked up to by the rest of the Order. In 44 ABY, he was assigned Padawan Marvaka Arjo. Marvaka became a knight in 55 ABY, and Imar never took another Padawan until long after in 72 ABY, when he began to train Uvar Yud. Padawan Uvar Yud is a Keldor who joined the Order as a youngling in 70 ABY. Uvar became Imar's Padawan in 72 ABY and is currently awaiting the trials. Jedi Master Clara Pays was a gifted Twi'lek youngling in 42 ABY. Clara was instantly assigned as a Padawan of Gorowell. She became a knight in 57 ABY and a master in 77 ABY. Clara has mastered the ability of being attack-focused without letting darkness consume her. Lastly, a youngling in 60 ABY, Siba Lar, was assigned as the Padawan of Brathsavel Lindar in 62 ABY. She became a Jedi Knight in 71 ABY. Next up is most people's favorite part, the Sith. We're going to start with the apprentice, Darth Luce. After Reglo became Darth Luce, Darth Exantero began teaching him how to harness his fear and use it as power. In 83 ABY, Luce began training two Dark Jedi, Nilpha and Iandor. Now in charge of a dreaded army of dissolution troopers from the Legion, Darth Luce seems almost untouchable. Next, we have the Sith Lord himself, Darth Exantero. Much like Feldar, we're going to start in 38 ABY for Exantero because the story of T-Bod Weavek is in the prologue video. After being shamefully beaten by Feldar with just the flick of a finger, T-Bod's anger completely consumed him. He fled to Exegol hoping to find knowledge about the great Sith Lord Darth Sidious. T-Bod, however, found only destruction. He did find a map to a small moon near Exegol, but the map was encoded and he had no idea where to start looking for answers. T-Bod became so enraged that he drew his lightsaber and began to slash anything in sight. As the rage and destruction built, he began to hear a ghostly cackle, and the map opened up. From beyond the grave, Sidious barked instructions to take the information found on the moon of Exegol to the Valley of the Sith on Korriban. By 39 ABY, T-Bod had found the information he needed and gone to Korriban. As he explored the Sith ruins, the first spirit to visit him was Darth Plagueis. Plagueis explained to T-Bod that the information he had been led to was the ability to cheat death. Plagueis explained that he could teach T-Bod how to use this information, but it would take years. Even more so with Plagueis being an apparition. In 44 ABY, between the trainings of Plagueis and visits from several other Sith spirits, T-Bod was visited by Darth Bane, who taught him about the Rule of Two and ultimately dubbed him Darth Exantero. Exantero spent years learning of the ancient Sith. In 62 ABY, Exantero was visited by Marka Ragnos, who helped Exantero craft an elaborate Sith lightsaber the likes of which had not been seen in thousands of years. In 66 ABY, Exantero took on his first apprentice, an unknown pureblood Sith who was defeated by Brathsavel and Marvaka in 72 ABY. In 74 ABY, Darth Exantero found an organization dedicated to the memory of the Empire, the Legion of the Empire. Exantero took control of this group, and their size and power multiplied. He was especially proud of his highly elite dissolution troopers. Since the trap on Korriban, Exantero has continued to train Darth Luz, and he himself has grown exponentially stronger. Next up, a lighter note. The current Jedi younglings. Starting off, we have Ismina Malari, a human youngling who joined the Order in 83 ABY, and she will be assigned to Padawan soon. Then there's Aranil, a Rakata youngling since 84 ABY. Pelado was a Kaminoan youngling who also joined in 84 ABY. Jutar Trundok, a recent Zabrak addition. And Chebrit Flynoke, a human who had just joined. Next up is the New Republic. Starting with Admiral Ibis Klesbeck, who fought in the Resistance and helped start the New Republic. In later years, he was best friends with Poe. He was left BB-8 after Poe's passing. And then we have a general, Evis Nadana, who is also there to help start the New Republic. Evis is currently the most trusted member in the Republic Army, and she currently owns R2-D2 and C-3PO. Then there's Republic soldier Kelna Zormgel, who always seems to be there when a battle's won. Obviously, these guys need no introduction, but it just didn't feel like it would be a Star Wars story without them, so there they are. Next, we're going to move on to other Force users, starting with Brath Saval Lindar. We basically explained who this is throughout the video. Characterized by his lightsaber pike, this former Jedi Master is one of the most formidable Force users alive. Then there's Marvaka Ardjo. Again, we've pretty much explained this Cathar Force user. He now travels the galaxy with Brasavel. Next, we're going to talk about the Dark Jedi we mentioned earlier, starting with Nilpha. The Syrian was born to a corrupt family, and he spent his entire life involved with the smugglers' cartel before Luz found him and began training him in 83 ABY. Armed with 2 light daggers, this dark side user is a dangerous Jedi hunter. Then Iandor, not much is known about this Mass Force user, only that he's just as dangerous as Nilpha or more, and that Darth Luz began training them around the same time. Oh, and that he wields a set of saber chucks. Lastly, let's talk about the Legion. First, Commander Atok Lifba, who served the First Order with his father Muka. Atok despises all things Republic. Then there's Captain Omber. Captain Omber is the ultimate Dissolution Trooper. A Dissolution Trooper is basically a Stormtrooper, but better all around. Then there's Dissolution Jet Troopers and Dissolution Heavy Troopers. And that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you stuck in there, thanks very much. I'd love to see you next time when we get into the main storyline. So be there if you love Star Wars. Please like and subscribe. And remember, I do not own any of the rights to any of this.